The Internet of the Things has revolutionized the way we interact today with the physical world, and it has really created a vast amount of opportunities across the different business. As IoT devices are continue to increase, there is a need for better connectivity, efficient data management, and seamless integration with different applications. This is where the Azure IoT comes into play because it provides a comprehensive suite of tools, services, which is designed to simplify the IoT development, enable secure communication between different devices, and streamline the data processing and analysis capabilities in under one umbrella. In this vlog, we will explore the powerful capabilities provided by this wonderful platform and how we can empower the organizations to build the scalable and reliable IoT solutions. So let's get started. Hello friends, welcome to my channel and explore the world of Microsoft Azure. My name is Rajneesh Kaushik and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, consultant and an enterprise architect. For more latest videos and blogs, you can always log into my website rajneeshkaushik.com and subscribe to my blog. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss the latest videos. Do like, share and comment. Azure IoT Services, revolutionizing the world of Internet of the Things. Here is the agenda for today's session. First, we are going to understand what is Azure IoT Services, what is Azure IoT Hub, and then what is Azure IoT Central. Then we will delve deeper into Azure IoT solution architecture, its core subsystem and the optional subsystems, how it is comprised of. And then we will also understand the cross-cutting IoT application needs, and then we will jump to a demo. Azure IoT Services, revolutionizing the world of Internet of the Things. Here is the agenda for today's session. First, we are going to understand what is Azure IoT Services, what is Azure IoT Hub, and then what is Azure IoT Central. Then we will delve deeper into Azure IoT solution architecture, its core subsystem and the optional subsystems, how it is comprised of. And then we will also understand the cross-cutting IoT application needs, and then we will jump to a demo. So let's get started. What is Azure IoT Services? Azure IoT Services is a comprehensive collection of Microsoft managed cloud service which actually provides the edge components and a SDK for developers to develop the components. Azure IoT Services is a comprehensive collection of Microsoft managed cloud offering, and it provides a very powerful SDK and edge components. These services actually helps you to connect, monitor and control your IoT assets which is distributed across the globe or across the different locations. IoT actually contains managed platform across all the edge and the cloud, right? So if there are platform which is encompasses of different edge components on the edge internet and the cloud, so it actually manage both of them together. Azure IoT also helps you to monitor and control billions of IoT assets together, because in a typical large scale solution you might be having thousands or billions of solutions which is being managed centrally by the Azure IoT, right? IoT also provides you industry specific cloud solutions based on the SDK which it provides out of the box, and it helps you to develop the intelligent AI enabled solutions for edge to cloud technologies. Azure IoT Hub. Let's understand what is it. Azure IoT Hub is a managed service, and that actually is a central messaging hub. Okay, and whenever there is a communication happens from the devices, it actually accept those messages in the message hub, right? And it processes that messages as a part of the larger application architecture. So it actually provides a secure communication for millions of devices which is connecting to it. There are different messaging patterns it follows. First is device to cloud telemetry. Device to cloud telemetry means devices can send their data directly into the cloud and the cloud can process it as and when the data arrives. Then second pattern is file uploads from devices, which means that devices can directly transfer the files into the cloud and cloud can directly process these devices. And this gives a very powerful capability because the data could be ingested from multiple set of devices across the globe. Then the third pattern it supplies is request reply method, which means that the cloud can send commands to the Azure IoT, and then there could be a controlled command coming back from the as a reply from the Azure. So these are the messaging patterns it follows. Then apart from that, IoT Hub provides a very inherent capability for scalability. And when it comes to scalability means that it provides scalability for managing millions of devices concurrently at the same time. And the millions of devices are connected at the same time to the IoT Hub. And these millions of devices sending trillions of messages together. And this also ensures that the service can handle this growing demand, which means that there is a factor of scalability that, suppose today morning the messages are in millions and then the evening it is trillions. So these messages are very scalable. They can grow at any point of time. So IoT provides that capability to you. Then it also have a different service tiers, right? And these service tiers, allow you to choose the best based on your needs. Like one example could be that it's a standard tier or a high performance tier. So those tiers you can choose based on your application needs. Data flow and processing. So IoT solution is all about the data because it collects the data from different devices, which is, transmitting this data into the IoT Hub. And as and when the data is processed, it is analyzed, and based on that analysis, it creates an insight out of it, and that insight is very, very important for taking a decision. So this is what it is depicted here, that these devices are, generating the data, and then insight is, created based on that, and then the actions are taken based on that insight. What is Azure IoT Central? Azure IoT Central is a ready-made IoT application development platform which actually connects all the IoT devices to the cloud and provides a pre-aggregated Azure services which includes the device provisioning, streaming capabilities and time series analytics, so that you can not just do the development but also utilize the Azure services and also manage these devices which is transmitting the data and do streaming analytics based on the data stream coming from these devices, and then generate some insights out of it. So this is very, very critical and important platform. What are the different key features for this platform? First of all, you can do the customization, which means that you can customize your branding, you can customize the dashboard, you can create a user role, and then you can also configure the telemetry on the, you can provision the devices. It also provides a very secure platform for security and management. It handles all the security and management feature for your IoT application needs and devices. It also have very reduced complexity for the development activities, and it helps your IoT system to scale up to any level. Apart from that, it also provides accelerated development so that you can use the ready-made platform and you don't have to do the extensive coding for small things. It provides you all the infrastructure already available there. It can scale up to millions of devices, billions of trillions of data coming to it, and then it can scale up to that level. And at the end of the day, it simplifies your development effort, it simplifies your management capabilities. So with this user-friendly interface, you can manage and monitor your devices and IoT solutions at any scale. Okay, so now let's understand the Azure IoT architecture, which contains core subsystem components, and core subsystem components starts from the IoT devices. These devices are physical objects or sensors which can securely connect and register with the cloud. And these are this could also be your on-premises edge gateways, right? So these devices requires your connectivity to send and receive the data from the cloud. Then the second part of it is your cloud gateway service. Cloud gateway service is actually a subsystem which accepts the data from the device or sends the data to the device in a secure way. It also provides the device management capabilities, allows your all the administrators to monitor and control these devices from the IoT. Right? This is very critical system because this is responsible for sending the secure transmission of the data to the devices and the cloud. Then the next option is the UI reporting. UI reporting system provides a visual representation of the telemetry data which is getting ingested from the devices, and it allows the users to visualize this data, monitor the device status, and provide a dashboard for you. And these dashboards are very important and helpful for taking a decisions and manage the device configurations. This also helps you to facilitate your device management capabilities so that users can interact with the IoT application. Then we have a stream processor. Stream processor is responsible for consuming the data which is coming from the devices, and this stream processor integrates the data to the various business processes for the data transformation, filtering, analysis, right? And this data is finally then stored into the storage, and that is where the data is permanently stored for the further retrieval or in a future use. And then finally we have a business integration. Business integration are the business components which actually consumes this data. The applications, the integration interfaces. It could be any REST API call which is being used to call the external system. So this is how the whole core subsystem component works in Azure IoT. Okay, so one more thing you want to definitely understand very carefully, that storage could be used in two different ways. Storage is not like just a Azure Blob Storage. There are two type of storage categories. First is warm path, another one is a cold path. Warm path is the storage where data can be readily available to the system for immediate reporting capabilities and visualization capabilities, right? And whenever we require a warm path, we always recommend to use Cosmos DB for the warm path. And similarly, if you want to use your data to be stored for longer duration and want to use it for batch processing in a future historical analysis for future, right, then you can use a Azure Blob Storage. That is most cost effective and durable storage for a large volume of data. Apart from the core subsystems, there are some optional subsystems which can be used to enhance the capabilities of the IoT. So let's understand what are those optional subsystems. So first is your IoT edge devices. IoT edge devices helps you to enhance the device capabilities for doing the local processing of the data, right? So it helps you to also enhance the connectivity and do the local processing instead of always sending the data all the way to the IoT. Then second part is your bulk device provisioning. Bulk device provisioning helps you to deploy the fleet of devices, okay, in one shot. So that helps you to do it very faster way, and bulk in a bulk fashion you can deploy multiple devices. Then the third option is your data transformation. Data transformation is a component helps you to get an analysis of the data, telemetry data which is coming from the devices. And then finally the cold path. So there are actually multiple storage path, cold, hot or warm storage path. This could be used for different use cases. If you want to use data immediately, then you may need a warm path. If you want to use it for batch processing, you may need cold path, right? And then there is similarly it is a hot path is also available, which you require readily available, and there and then you want to process the data. So these are the different storage path. Then user management capability, which helps you to provide the right tooling for different user roles, so that you can secure that user roles based on the user role, provide the specific set of access. And then finally the machine learning. Machine learning helps you to support the scenarios such as predictive analytics, predictive maintenance of the devices. Suppose there are certain events are raised from a certain set of devices, then they require a maintenance, and those predictive maintenance can be predicted with a machine learning algorithm. And then finally this there could be a data pushed to those devices, so that before these devices comes down, they can be rectified there and then. Apart from this, there are cross-cutting architectural needs for a IoT system. So what are those needs? First of all, if you see, the first is security. Security is an integral part of it, because which means that security requires your user management, auditing of the devices, device connectivity, in transit telemetry of the data, and the security at rest, right? So these are the security specific cross-cutting layer. Then the logging and monitoring. This is very, very important, because you need to definitely monitor your devices and determine their health and troubleshoot those devices which is going to fail or already failed, right? So this is where the logging and monitoring comes into picture. Then finally, high availability and disaster recovery. And this is why, because you want to rapidly recover from the systemic failure, and make sure that your devices are up and running, and there is no failure, or if there is a failure, it is you're able to absorb those failures within that threshold. Okay, so now let's jump to a demo. In this demo, we are going to create a Azure IoT Hub. We are going to create a device, and then finally we are going to create a simulated device with some code, and that device will send some data to the IoT Hub, and we will analyze that IoT data in that IoT Hub. So let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to create a IoT Hub. I will create a resource group for this IoT demo, East US, and then I'm going to name it then the networking part, I'll keep it the way it is with the public access, and then again I'm going to keep it the way it is. I'm not going to add any add-on, but you can add any add-on here. Tags, create, and done. So I'm going to create it now. So let's wait for it to come back. Okay, so now IoT device is ready, and we are going to create a device inside it, and I'm going to do the name of the device. I would say that my IoT device, and then I'll keep these options: generate key, symmetric key, and other options, and then keep it the way it is and save. So it is created, but it's not reflecting it here. It takes couple of minutes to reflect it here. So for this demo to work, we will create a simulated device, which means that we are going to create a C# program which will act as if it is a real device and send the messages to the IoT Hub. Okay, so while this device which is created in the IoT Hub comes here in display, I am going to go ahead and create a simulated device here, so that I can showcase you how this whole process works. So first I'm going to make a directory, and then I'm going to move into this directory. Then I'm going to use a .NET command to create a project. Then I'm going to add the package, and then I'm going to do the restore command. this will actually make sure that the project is up to the date. And then I'm going to open this whole in the code which is generated by the .NET command line into the Visual Studio Code. So here is a Visual Studio Code which shows you the code which we have created here, and you can see that this code is here. Now I'm going to write some code here, and actually that code is already kept in my blog. You can copy and paste it from there, and the whole explanation of this code is also written here. So I'm going to copy it here and then paste it in the Visual Studio to make it simple. So let's close this other things, and then I'm going to run this code here. And how do we run this code? It is very simple to run this code. We will just do .NET run command. So let's do that. First I'm going to open the prompt, and in that I'm going to open the terminal for PowerShell. Here I'm going to say .NET run, and .NET run will actually run this code. Okay, and before we go ahead and run this code, I just want to show you that how do we add a connection string in this code so that this code can run and connect to the IoT Hub. But before we put that connection string, let's go back to the portal and see whether our device is reflecting here or not. Yes, so our device is already reflecting here, and in this we are going to actually get a primary connection string, which we will copy it here and put this primary connection string in the code. So this is our primary connection string, and here I am going to put the primary connection string here. Okay, so now I have already put a primary connection string, and again run this code here. So now you see that this code is now generating these messages, sending the messages, and these are the messages. Actually it's sending three different messages: humidity, temperature, right? So these messages it is sending constantly, and as and when these messages are sent, these messages we are going to retrieve it from with the help of the CLI command from Azure. So let's see what is a CLI command for Azure. First we are going to log in to the Azure with the AZ login command. And what is a command for the AZ login? So I am logged into the Azure login. Then the second command would be to set the account, and the setting the account means setting the subscription. So we will go here, and what is the subscription name? This is my subscription name. Okay, so now this is not recognized, so let's correct it. Okay, so now I have put a AZ account set name, a name, and then ID of the subscription. So now my subscription is already set up correctly, and then the last command I'm going to use is this command, and this command will actually take the name of the IoT Hub In this case, my name of the IoT Hub is, let's see what is the name we have kept. IoT Demo 7. And then the device ID, and device ID is nothing but the device which we have just created here, and it will be listed in the device. So our device ID is here. And let's see what happens. We are able to test that messages or not. So now it started monitoring the event. So at one point your code which we have written here is sending these messages to the IoT Hub, and then other end we are actually getting these events received from the IoT Hub. So whatever simulated device is sending the code, the same is received here. So this way you can see that this code is actually showing you the values coming from the IoT Hub. So with this we have completed our demo. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.